Okay, just gonna wait until you guys get in here. Hello, thanks for joining. Just gonna wait for the others to join. And I'm actually going to go live on Instagram real quick just to tell everyone to come on. So, all right. So, today's topic is going to be how to land a job in HR. And I want to talk about the approach for someone who doesn't have a degree and then someone who does have a degree. So let's start with that. Let's start with the ones who don't have a degree. So, if you don't have a degree and you want to get into HR, and this is assuming that you have some type of work experience, not like a recent high school graduate who's never had a job before, but I'm talking about people who actually have worked. Maybe you were administrative assistant, maybe you were a cashier. It really doesn't matter. You have had a job before. So, the common approach is for candidates to go and try to get a HR job at a company. So let's say there's a company like Progressive and they have an HR department. Progressive is a huge company. So most candidates will say, I'm going to go and I'm going to apply for an HR assistant or an HR generalist role or something at Progressive. I may not have HR experience, but I've got administrative experience. I've got experience enforcing compliance, whatever. So I'm going to apply to a big company, to work in their HR department. Now, that's a tricky and risky strategy. And the reason why it's tricky and risky is because you're going to be competing with a lot of internal competition. So let's say I've been working at Progressive for 3 years, and Progressive has reimbursed my tuition for me to go get my bachelor's degree in human resources. There's going to be hundreds of candidates internally who already have a rapport with the company that are going to be going after those roles. So then you've got internal competition and then you have external competition. And that external competition often has HR experience. Then you're going to have the other people that are applying who don't really have any experience in HR, but they're trying to get into HR like you. So then you've got to remember that typically speaking, when you apply for an HR position through a company, what you're going to see is that there's one or two positions, maybe three at the most, but there's still going to be hundreds and hundreds of candidates applying for this role. So I'm not trying to discourage you from applying to HR positions with companies directly, but I want to give you an out of the box approach. So I posted today on Instagram and I showed you guys the different roles that you could seek in HR. And then I also highlighted some companies that you could apply to. And the reason why I made this post is because 9 times out of 10, when I get candidates or clients that are looking for HR positions, they're not using this approach that I'm about to teach you. They're applying directly to companies, and it's not always working out for them. So you have companies that exist solely for the purpose of managing key aspects of HR for private companies. So a company like Progressive may contract with Aon Hewitt to manage certain aspects of their HR process. So usually you're going to see benefits management outsourced. You're going to see leave of absence management outsourced. You're going to see benefits from health to short-term disability, long-term disability, 401k, even the health insurance spending accounts. You're going to see all of these things are commonly outsourced to third-party companies. So if I'm a third-party company like Aon Hewitt and I'm providing human resource services to companies like Progressive, Allstate, Johnson and Johnson, you name it, what you're going to see is that I've got a whole call center full of employees that are serving my corporate clients. So you got positions such as benefits coordinator, benefits specialist, FMLA coordinator, LOA coordinator, these different roles, or it may even be customer experience manager or account manager. The titles vary. And what you're going to see is because I'm serving a broad group of clients, a diverse group of clients, I've got people that are going to be calling in to me from all the companies that we serve at any given time. So when we post a vacancy or a company posts a vacancy for a company like Aon Hewitt, they're hiring a training class. They're not just hiring one person. They're hiring maybe 5 to 50, sometimes 100 people if it's the right season. So yes, the experience is going to be more focused. If you do a benefits coordinator or a benefits specialist position, yes, that is going to be super focused in benefits. If you do something with FMLA or leave of absence or account management, you're going to touch various aspects, or you may just touch that one area, but that is okay. If you're applying for an HR generalist position after you've been a benefits coordinator, a benefits specialist, an FMLA coordinator, or any of the roles that I've mentioned, and you've been in this role for 2 or 3 years, you're going to be considered competitive, especially compared to a candidate that's just applying. I've worked in a call center, or I've been an administrative assistant. A generalist is just that. You perform general HR functions. So they're not necessarily demanding that you've touched every function, but they want you, if you've been a benefits coordinator, chances are that you've done more than just at coordinating benefits. You may have worked with the benefits partners. You may know the plans and policy. You may know open enrollment procedures. You're doing more than just benefits, and that is beneficial to an HR generalist position. So the goal is, don't aim for the HR generalist role when you don't have any HR experience. You want to aim for one of these positions that I put in that post on my Instagram, and you want to try to target companies that provide HR services. So there's another company called Paycor. Now, Paycor, for example, is a payroll processing company. So let's say you want to work payroll for a major corporate company. No problem. What you want to do is you want to target companies like Paycor. There's another company called Paychex. There's several of them. A payroll processing company where they're going to be hiring 10 or 20 people at one time for each vacancy. Because again, this is the type of company that serves corporate clients. So it's a business to business situation. So my demands for email, my demands for phone are going to be a lot higher than what it would be if you worked for just the payroll department at Progressive, because they're only serving Progressive. But if you work for Paycor, doing something with payroll, you're going to be serving a portfolio of clients. So there's more need, more opportunities. Seek out those opportunities. Read between the title. So, like I said before, you're looking at positions that may have a title that's related to HR, but they may not. There are some positions like I just saw, and I just posted on the Work From Home Job Plug page, a position called a customer experience specialist for a leave of absence position. So you may be turned off by the customer experience title. Customer experience specialist doesn't necessarily correspond with human resources, But if you were to get a role like that, you would want to emphasize on your resume, customer experience manager for FMLA. These companies, and you're going to see a lot more of these companies emerging, where there are small companies, small businesses that are scaling, that are offering HR support to small businesses and big businesses the same. This is your HR bread and butter. Okay. These companies are not necessarily looking for HR professionals, because they action. So in a corporate environment, if they're hiring an HR professional to work directly for the company, they want someone who knows what they're doing. Although you may work under an HR manager, although your boss may be the VP of HR, they don't really have it set up to where someone can necessarily hold your hand. They want someone who's seasoned, who can hit the ground running. When you start working for these third party companies, you're going to be in a training environment. So it's a training class, there's a job aid, you're going to see job aids for each specific client, how the process works. So it's more of an opportunity where you're learning. They need warm bodies in these seats to handle the clients that they've gotten. And they've got a budget for your mistakes, to fix your mistakes. And it's an environment where you have 35 other people that do the same job as you that you can ask, versus when you're going for HR positions that work exactly directly for the company. Like, I'm the HR generalist for Progressive. There may only be 10 generalists, and they all may perform for different markets. It may be an HR generalist for auto, HR generalist for bodily injury. They may have subgroups, and you work independently. When you start seeking these third party companies, it's a whole class of people who do the same thing. Training is different, support is different, and HR experience is not required. So the best way to get your feet wet in HR, if you don't have any HR degree and you don't have any HR experience, is to target companies. So for example, Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente has enrollment specialist positions. They have onboarding positions where they onboard new members. You may think like, well, Kaiser Permanente is health insurance. How is that HR? Part of HR is benefits. So if Kaiser has any type of position for benefits, I'm not going to name the third party companies again because it's on my Instagram. So if you want to see, there's a list on the post I just posted before I announced that I was going live. You can save that post. Sorry, guys. So a lot of people are saying they can't hear me on Instagram. So sorry, they need to come to YouTube. So so again, what I was saying, when you're working at these positions like Kaiser Permanente, you're going to want to look for member positions in membership, positions in enrollment, anything that's going to have you working with benefits. And that is super important because you can leverage those types of titles to get into HR. I kind of lost my train of thought, I'm not gonna lie. Now, oh gosh. Oh, okay. So I got my train of thought back. Sorry, guys. So again, this is for people who don't necessarily have a degree, but you do have some work experience. Companies like Aon Hewitt, they offer account management roles. Now, I know that you may think like account management doesn't necessarily translate to HR, but if you're an account manager that handles accounts for benefits clients, if you're an account manager that handles accounts for 401k clients, if you're an account manager that handles accounts for leave of absence, then you're going to want to put that on your resume. So you're going to target these roles, and then you're going to put on your resume, account manager for FMLA work group, account manager for 401k work group, account manager for leave of absence work group. So selling yourself from that regard. And yes, you're managing the account, but one of the key things that you're doing as an account manager or as an account specialist or a customer experience specialist is making sure that you are providing the services and solutions for that account. So if a corporate account is saying, hey, we're seeing a trend in issues where clients or our employees are saying that they've enrolled in their benefits and your system automatically enrolled them in the wrong package or the wrong service. That's HR, because that doesn't just happen at businesses. If you were to work at an organization, that happens at organizations all the time. Hey, I'm trying to enroll in my benefits and I enrolled in the wrong plan and now it's not letting me fix that online. You would do that at a company. So those are the things that you're going to emphasize, and that's the takeaway from these positions. If you're touching HR, any of the functions of HR, from benefits to leave to workers' compensation to recruiting, onboarding, that is HR. The title may trick you. That's why for these type of positions, you're going to want to say, benefits coordinator, for, you can name the client. So let's say you're a benefits coordinator and you only work on the Progressive line, benefits coordinator for Progressive client. There's a way to sell that in your resume when you're titling your position. So ultimately what I'm trying to say, guys, is you drastically narrow down your opportunities when you don't select companies that have more than one vacancy. When you're trying to apply directly at an organization, you're competing for one vacancy, maybe three vacancies if you're lucky. When you're applying for benefits managers, leave coordinator, and the different type of companies that I've told you, those third parties who provide those services to major corporations, you're talking about 35 vacancies. So one posting can have 35 vacancies because these are call center based positions. They're looking for people with customer service backgrounds. They're looking for people who have administrative backgrounds. Having HR experience is a plus, but it's not required for these roles. So the goal is get into one of these companies. And again, this is on my Instagram. I listed out 7 companies today, and I'll put them in the comments right here too. So we've got Kaiser Permanente. We've got Aon Hewitt, Aflac, Conduent, ADP, Zenefits, Paycor. Now, mind you, this is not a collective list. There are thousands of companies out here. Some of them are startups and some of them have been around for years that offer a combination of these different services. You will have to look for them. One way to look is you can Google who are Aon Hewitt's competitors, who are Aflac's competitors, who are Conduent's competitors, who are ADP's competitors, who are Zenefits competitors, who are Paycor's competitors. And you'll start to get a list of companies that are in this arena. Get in there. So to kind of simplify this for you, focus on third-party companies that offer HR-based services, benefits management, leave management-based services to major corporations. You can seek out roles that are entry level. By entry level, I don't mean that you can't have any experience. By entry level, I mean that, 2-3 years of experience, customer service experience. Like, for example, I'm gonna read you, because I just saw a position. So I'm gonna read you a position from Zenefits. It was Zenefits. And I'm gonna just give you some more in-depth insight. How can I get into human resources without a degree or background? Okay, so that's what I'm explaining right now. And you'll be able to replay this video if you didn't catch the beginning, where I'm just talking about the different roles, because all these roles and companies that I'm listing don't require an HR background. Would this be a staffing company as well? Staffing companies, yes, that is a good way to get in, but usually staffing companies want to see experience. That's why I didn't go into that one, because you know, a lot of those positions, not all of them, but a lot of the ones that I see, they want you to have some type of experience. Because I mean, your staffing is the same situation. It's not like a call center based. It's like, they need you to be recruiting, and they've got a team. Is a remote position okay if you don't have experience? Yeah, if you've got um, if you find companies that are hiring remote, a lot of the companies that I listed do hire remotely. So even though these positions are remote, you're still going to be in a queue with other people doing the same thing. So usually, like, these companies will have like a chat where you can chat other people that do your job all day. So you're still going to get that support. So yeah, many of these companies are hiring remote. So I've got this customer care advocate position at Zenefits. Okay. And this is a remote opportunity. And let's talk about what Zenefits is. So Zenefits, and they call it Zenefits because they use Zendesk to serve their clients. So Zenefits I'm looking up, okay. So it's a US-based company that offers cloud-based software as a service to companies for managing their human resources, with a particular focus on helping them with health insurance coverage. So Zenefits is helping their clients with health insurance, that part of HR. So they're hiring for a customer care advocate. So you may think, oh, this is a customer care advocate. What does that have to do with HR? Well, as a customer care advocate, you're going to be the face and the voice of Zenefits. You're going to provide support through email, phone, and chat. You're going to help them get through critical moments with ease by taking a systematic approach to problem solving. You're going to address questions. You're going to coordinate service solutions between multiple Zenefits teams, and you're going to act as a voice of the customer. Now, on the surface, that doesn't sound like HR, but remember, the client that's calling you as the customer care advocate is going to be calling you about HR related cloud services. So, hey, my team member was trying to enroll in this product and they were rejected. Why? My employee had a change of life event and they're having some trouble with processing that through your system. So when you get these type of roles, don't focus, or when you look at these type of roles, don't focus on I'm just answering phones. No, what are you answering? What questions are you answering? So it's easy to land these type of roles. They want 1 to 2 years of work experience in a customer service or call center environment. New grads are welcome to apply. So you can literally get a job for a company like Zenefits. And this is just the easiest way to do it, because you're going to have a higher chance of getting a customer care advocate role at Zenefits than you are of getting an HR assistant role at your favorite company. So let's say you go in and you apply for a customer care advocate role at Zenefits. They only want 1 to 2 years of experience, or you can be a new grad. Okay, boom. So you apply for that position. You work as a customer care advocate for 1 or 2 years. On your resume, you put customer care advocate, Zenefits, and then you're going to put the work group that you worked under. So you can put customer care advocate, health insurance work group. And you're going to focus on responding to inquiries from third party or business to business clients, to assist with processing health insurance related inquiries. You can then take that 1 to 2 years of experience and stay at the company and grow. They have other roles, like a benefits coordinator, that benefits specialist. So you could do that for a year. You could transition into something like that. So now you've been a customer care advocate, and then you went into a benefits coordinator role. So initially, you were answering benefits related questions. You were responding to technical issues with benefits related. As a customer care advocate, you were the voice of the customer. You identified trends. You develop solutions, you help with best practice guides, you help with standard operating procedures in an environment that serviced an HR need. So then you go from a customer care advocate position to like a benefits coordinator position where you're doing more in depth with the benefits. You're actually working with benefits providers and the business to business clients as a liaison and connecting them. You're looking at policies and making decisions based off policies, enforcing compliance. And then you do that. That's 2-3 years. Now, when you get that experience, then you could go and take that and apply at a major company in an HR type of position. You've got 2 to 3 years of a profile where you've built upon a skill. I started as a customer care advocate in HR or processing HR related functions. Then I grew into a benefits coordinator. After benefits coordinator, you may go to benefits specialist. Then after you've been a benefits specialist, you can go to benefits rep. And that's where you're going to start making the $65,000, $70,000, those higher paying positions. So the takeaway from this, guys, is focus on third-party HR companies. Most people aren't doing this. Most people are focusing on getting hired in HR at a company in their HR department. Very, very competitive when you don't have any experience. Build up that profile. You can even go so far as to think about what area of HR you want to work in. So if your goal is to be a generalist, then you may want to do a combination. You may want to go from the customer care advocate to a benefits coordinator to a leave of absence specialist or leave of absence coordinator. That way, when you go apply for benefits, you've got the customer care piece, you've got the benefits piece, you've got the leave of absence piece. So you've got a nice picture. If you want to be you want to work in leave of absence, like FMLA or personal leave or whatever, you're going to follow the hierarchy. So you may go from customer care advocate to FMLA coordinator to FMLA specialist. So that's another thing to consider when you're applying for these positions is that entry level is going to be coordinator. Then it's going to be specialist. Then it's going to be representative. So if you're applying for positions that are in HR and they say representative, like, why am I not getting this position? Because a representative is someone who represents that function. If you're not seasoned, you can't really be a representative. So they want to see you be like a coordinator or a specialist first before they're going to give you that rep, because it's like a rep, that title. So if you your goal is to be like a benefits rep or a leave management rep or something like that, then you may want to follow that trend. So benefits rep, you're going to want to go benefits coordinator, benefits specialist, benefits rep. Benefits rep is the high paying position. Same thing with leave management. You're going to go from leave coordinator, leave specialist, leave representative. And again, these are all positions that you can find working for those third-party companies. And once you get that title, then you leverage that title and you take that title to a major company. So if I started as a customer care advocate, then I went to a benefits coordinator, then I went to a benefits specialist, then I went to a benefits rep. I've got 4 years of HR experience. So now I can knock on the door at Progressive. And maybe during that time I got my degree. Maybe during that time I got my PHR. But then you can go knock on the door to a company like Progressive and apply for a benefits rep position internally, because you've got 4 years of progressively responsible experience within the field. Or you could go customer care advocate, benefits coordinator, FMLA specialist, and apply for the generalist role. But if you want that entry-level experience, get it at the companies that provide HR outsourcing services to major corporations. If you really want to get into it, do some research to find out who their client group is. So let's say your dream is to work for Hilton Worldwide. Aon Hewitt is their benefits provider. So you can even do your research to the point where you apply for Aon Hewitt. They say, why do you want to work here? Well, my 5-year goal is to get an HR generalist role at Hilton Worldwide. It's extremely difficult to get a position at that company without experience, and I understand that they're one of your clients. So my goal is to work in this advocate role, gain experience as a benefits coordinator, a benefits specialist for the Hilton Worldwide line that you serve, and then take that experience later to qualify for a role at that company internally. As you can see, a lot of this is about strategy, and I stress this a lot. Sometimes what you guys do is you hear about a position and in your head you think, I can do that. It doesn't work like that. The way it works is you've got to know what you want to do, and you've got to build up a profile of experience using strategies. I want to work in HR. I want to work for this company. How do I get the experience? Now I'm telling you, this is how you would do it for HR. Attack these third-party companies. They're popping up everywhere. I see, and another name for it, I'm gonna put in the comments, is HR shared services. These HR shared services companies are popping up everywhere. I see them daily. I find out about new ones every day. They're hiring. That is going to be your ticket into HR, getting your experience there, and then you can stay there, or you can hone that experience and go into HR. So you can't just say, I think I want to work in HR and start applying for HR positions. You have to build up a solid profile of experience. When I read your resume as a recruiter in the HR field, I'm looking for someone who is demonstrating that they have gotten experience in various areas of human resources. And I'm looking for someone who's showing dedication and commitment to the field. I'm looking for someone who is serious about a career in HR, not someone who's just looking for a job, and your resume is going to tell it. So even if you're doing a career change, you still have to look like you're doing a career change. You don't want to just look like, I just woke up today and decided I'm going to apply for jobs in HR because I keep seeing them. And following these steps will help you get there. Now I'm going to take some questions. I live in the UK, coming from a solid administrative background, looking for a pathway to HR. If you have a solid administrative background, then seek opportunities in HR shared services. Google UK-based HR shared services companies and start targeting the roles that I put up on my Instagram. Do you know if companies are hiring remotely? Yes, there are a lot of these companies. Most of these companies are hiring remotely right now. The only exception is that some of these companies may have regional or geographic restrictions. So sometimes I see positions that are just open to the United States, open to Canada, and then sometimes I see positions that are state or province specific. I have 3 years of experience in HR, but most companies still require a degree. What I could tell you is that the companies that I just named and listed, Kaiser, Aon Hewitt, Aflac, Conduent, ADP, and Zenefits, and Paycor, they all have opportunities that do not require degrees, where you will be touching some form or fashion of HR. So go ahead and check those out. I've been an HR coordinator for 2 years, and I would like to go into an HR business partner role. Any tips on how I can develop? I will tell you this, an HR business partner role is the role after HR manager. So you're not going to just fall into a business partner role. A business partner is literally you partner with the business to make HR consultant level decisions for the company. It's almost like being an attorney for the company over HR. So if you want a business partner role, you're going to need about, let me say this, you're going to figure out what part of the business you want to partner with them for. So at business partners, there's business partner roles in talent acquisition. There are business partner roles in every aspect. It could be shared services, health, life, benefits, so many different categories. So try to figure out which business partner role or which part of the business you want to specialize in, and then pivot that HR coordinator experience to get it. So if you've got HR coordinator experience, and let's say you want to be a benefit or a business partner for talent acquisition, you want to start looking for recruiter roles. Either within the company that you currently work for, if you want to be a business partner there, or start seeking other opportunities. But you're going to want to get lots of experience in the field that you want, or in the part of the business that you want to be a partner for. So 2 years as a coordinator, you've got some time, but you can definitely do it. So start thinking about which area. And if you want to be a general business partner, then from coordinator, you probably want to go to HR generalist. 3 years experience as a payroll specialist and time and attendance specialist. I'm currently an investment services rep. Do you think that's transferable? Payroll, timekeeping. Now, I'll tell you this. Yes, there's a place for you in HR. You can do payroll processor, payroll positions. You can do workforce analyst positions, but you can also pivot depending on your education. You can also pivot this payroll specialist, time attendance, to accounting and project management, depending on how you sell it. So if you're in investment services right now, I think that you should kind of really think about what you really want to do with your career. Is it HR? How much do you want to make? Start Googling salaries and find out what industries pay the salary that you want to make, because you were going HR and now you went somewhere else. So you can come back to HR if you want to, but just based off your skill set, you've got way more opportunities than HR. I have a degree in psych, trying to do HR. Most of my experience is retail customer service. Is there anything I could put on my resume to stand out to an entry company? Okay. So if you've done retail and you've done customer service, and you want to get into HR, then you could, the companies that I've named, you can look at their customer service positions. I would start there, customer service, or any of the titles that I've listed on my Instagram post or in the comments here. You'll start there. So once you've done retail and once you've done customer service, I don't know if your customer service was like call center based or if it was customer facing in like a physical environment, but you've got the experience to get back into another customer service role. A lot of times what happens when people get customer service experience is usually very general experience. And so people get frustrated when it's like people get very frustrated when it's like going from customer service at one company to customer service at another company. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you work customer service at a company like Progressive, and your customer service just answering general processing payments, making account updates and stuff like that. That's general customer service experience, but it's also administrative experience. So it's giving you the foundation. When you go customer service to customer service again, it should be with the intention of touching a different business group. So if I go from general customer service and I'm now deciding like, okay, I got my bachelor's degree, I've worked these jobs for 2 or 3 years, now I want to work in HR. Your next step should be getting a customer service position that touches HR. So it's not like a replication, it's not a lateral move, it is a structured, intentional move. So that retail and customer service is going to qualify you to get a customer service position at one of the companies that I named, and then you just build off of that. Would a management and sociology degree translate well into HR? If not, what should I aim for to be better suited for the field? If you want to work in HR, you should get a degree in business or HR. If you've already got a management or sociology degree, then you can't undo that. Or if you've already started that and you're close to being finished, that's where you are. A lot of times when I see these positions, they're not necessarily asking for a degree in HR. They may say they want a degree in HR or a related field. So your biggest hurdle is going to be less of the education and more of the experience. I don't care if you've got a degree in HR. If you don't have experience in HR, it's going to be hard for you to get a job. So if your degree is in sociology, no problem. Apply for a benefits coordinator role, apply for a customer care advocate role, apply for a customer experience manager role at a company that provides HR shared services And then when you work there for a couple of years and you move up and you get that experience, no recruiter is going to say, hey, you can't be a generalist because your degree is in sociology, when you've got 4 or 5 years of experience in HR that supports you being in an HR generalist role. So if you're starting from point blank and you know you want to do HR, get a business degree, get an HR degree. If you're already committed, focus on the experience aspect, because regardless of if your degree is in HR or if your degree is in sociology, you're still going to have to build the experience creatively to be considered competitive. Okay. Oh, so you were saying I have a degree. Okay, I already answered that. No degree, but 10 years customer service experience. How do I market myself? It really depends on what you want to do, M. Simon. What do you want to do? And you're welcome, you guys. I have 3 years of experience as a lead CSR in banking. How can I transition or market myself into an entry-level position in HR? So the one thing about banking is that banking gives you experience with product lines. So if you were to go into the benefits portion, and by benefits, I mean health insurance, long-term, short-term disability. If you're 401k, you would want to sell how you've marketed banking products to solve the needs of customers, because that's what the benefit side of HR. So it may be difficult for you to get like a traditional HR role, like an HR generalist role or something like that. But look up companies that provide long-term disability, short-term disability insurance, health insurance, 401k solutions. So you've got companies like Charles Schwab, you've got companies like Humana, Delta Dental, you've got companies like Sedgwick. These types of companies, it may not be the traditional HR space, but it's going to give you that experience in benefits and leave management, all that good stuff. 5 years customer service. Dr. JK, it's time to figure out what you want to do. What do you want to do? You're welcome. Would you say an HR degree or HR certification holds more weight in the current job market? I'd say both of them hold weight. The key here, if you really want the high paying positions, the key is to get an HR degree or related degree. So HR degree could be a degree in HR. It could be a degree in business management. It could be a degree in organizational leadership. It could be a degree in organizational design, something related to business. Then the certification, all of a human resource certification is essentially a certificate proving that you've passed the PHR exam. And the PHR exam is based on the fundamentals of HR and a lot of the common laws and processes. So basically, you're just saying, hey, I passed this test, so I know this knowledge. Knowing the knowledge, you can have an HR degree, and that lets me know that you have the knowledge. I want to know, have you applied the knowledge? It's one thing to have the knowledge. It's another thing to be competent and confident. So we have a lot of information in our heads, but if you're not confident in using it and you don't understand how that information relates to the processes in real life applications, then you can have all the degrees and certifications you want. I need proof that you've used these things successfully. And that proof is going to be based off of me looking at your resume and seeing you've got the degree, you've got the certification, and you've managed to keep this role for this position for 2 years. So you must know what you're doing. My HR degree is from 10 years ago. Will recruiters ignore it being that I've only worked in accounting and not HR? I'm looking at payroll, entry-level positions now. Excuse me. Payroll is extremely, it's tedious work. So payroll, we want to see skill. We want to see that you are efficient in accounting. We want to see that you've got accuracy and precision. Now, there are certain laws that govern payroll. So if you're going to be going for something like that, you want to make sure that you're putting that in your accounting roles. You have enforced compliance, you follow policies, and you take in procedures to mitigate risk. Those are going to be the way you want to transfer that. As far as your degree, nobody's going to know your degree is 10 years old unless you tell them. And if it was me personally, I wouldn't tell them that my degree is from 10 years ago because that's none of their business. I wouldn't put the year I graduated on my resume if you're insecure about that, it being 10 years. You don't have to put that. We care that you graduated. It doesn't matter when you graduated. So I wouldn't worry about that. Take that year that you graduated off your resume. You don't have to put that on there. You're welcome, Christopher. I'm about to graduate with my HR degree. I want to move up within the company I currently work for. I'm an admin assistant for QC. How to market myself to HR department. And so I would say this, that the first step is going to be talking to your manager and letting your manager know that you plan to get a role in HR, and coordinating a mentorship with someone who works in HR so that you can build relationships, work on some projects. As far as from a resume perspective, you're going to have to research the HR positions in your company, which ones are available, which ones are, vacant or coming vacant, and what are the requirements for that role? What are you going to be doing? Identify the overlap. Whatever things that you do when you identify what positions are going to be available that you're qualified for, make a chart. What you do, what you'll be doing in the new role. Identify the overlap and only put the overlap on your resume. So whatever you do in your current position that they would want you to do in the new position, that's all you're going to put on there. You're welcome, Bryce. What are your thoughts on getting a graduate certificate in HR? Does that make you competitive? You are only competitive in HR if you have an experience, a combination of experience, education. It doesn't matter if the education is a certificate. It doesn't matter if it's a degree. It doesn't matter if it's your PHR. It doesn't matter. If you only have the certificate and no experience, you are not competitive. You can have your PhD in HR. If you've never worked in the field, you are not competitive. You're entry level. What if I change my resume to HR degree if it's really in mass communication? Will that come up on the background? Yes, it will. Absolutely, because we verify education. But again, it doesn't matter if your degree is in mass communication. Communication is a big part of HR. Strategic communication, developing communication pipelines to communicate policies to the employees at the company, to communicate changes, to communicate time-sensitive deadlines for enrollment, for qualifying for certain benefits. So if you can make a business case for why your degree is in communication versus HR, it's related. They're asking you to make a business case. So on your resume, if your degree is in mass communication, then your goal is to write a resume that creates a business case for why mass communication is needed in HR. That's essentially what you're doing. My HR department is a department of one with me assisting. How should I market myself? Same scenario as the admin, about to graduate and hoping to join HR in an actual role. So Candice, are there opportunities? Because if your department is one person with you assisting, is there a need for it? Because it may just be, you may already be in HR. That's what it sounds like to me. So are there any other questions that you guys have? If not, I'm going to go ahead and log off. But I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to just talk to you guys about strategies. The takeaway here is basically the traditional route of segueing into HR that system is being taxed. There are so many people trying to go the traditional route. So I'm an out-of-the-box thinker, and I like to give people ideas that are not commonly used. So that way, you have a better chance versus standing in line and competing with everyone else. This is an alternative route that will get you to the same place, and there's a demand. So I'm going to type these positions in the comments again. That sounds like there is a need, but push against it from the one person. So it sounds like to me that have you communicated, what your goals are? Because sometimes there are haters. It's not about like marketing yourself so that you look better. Sometimes it's just the person is fears that will growth will somehow, put them out of work. And I hear that a lot, especially in HR. So you may want to beef up your resume and try to sell yourself somewhere else, but don't quit until you've got something new. So these are some of the roles. Um, that you really don't have to have a background, a HR background to do. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. And I'm going to log off.